lot of stuff to go over as we're going to be back testing these drops now. Oh, what's that? Oh, I seem to have a little bit of weight on my shoulder this morning. I'll tell you, I'm carrying a lot of weight around my shoulders these days. I can't quite understand what's going on here. Just can't understand it. Good morning, John Bugathor. Welcome in, Kryptonian. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. James Dula, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. Devin, good morning, and thanks for being a very trusted mod and been in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon badge. Michael, good morning. How to deposit money into BITUNIX. I'll show you. I'll go on to, well, you got to send money from another exchange and or wallet. Turn it into XRP, USDT, USDC, whatever fits for you, and just send it over there. And then sell it back into USDC or USDT. Sir Smokes a lot, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months for the XRP Predictor. Mark Casson, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. I love it. Sola Jeffrey, Hidden Roads address is 589 5th Avenue. That's funny, actually. Let's see. Good morning, Ringneck. John Hall, good morning. Attic, welcome in. Ben B, welcome. Glad to see you in here, friend. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to reset my chat and everything just because it was kind of frozen on there. There we go. CJ2 Pilot, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Ringneck says, Tommy Two Guns, absolutely, absolutely. Let's see. Can I transfer USD Coinbase to BitUNIX? Absolutely. My suggestion is when you transfer USDT, do it through Solana. It's $1. Doesn't matter how much you use. And it gets there the quickest when it comes to USDT. I'd rather do it with Solana than with Solana's blockchain than Ethereum's. It just seems to work a little bit better if you're going to do it that route. Papa Wheelie, good morning, along with AUB. Thank you both for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XRP Predictor. Tanya, welcome in, love, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon badge. I can't believe you got a notification. It's amazing. It doesn't happen very often. So I talked about it before. My my other championship belt I had made, the real one from Dubai. It came in. And you knew I had to show you one way or the other. But we do have a lot to talk about. This is just the fun side. So as some of you know, I live in Michigan by now. And it took 25 years. It's fucking bad. Fucking Saturday morning out here doing that bullshit. But that's what it looks like right there. So that's the championship belt. I know some of you know the other belt. So that's what it looked like when I put them both together. So the new one, the old one. So I figured I would, I kind of like the way that looks with the two belts, actually. But yeah, that's how it looks. So figured I would share it. We'll start off with a smile, and then we got some stuff going on here now this morning. Yes, please make sure to hit that like button because it certainly does help push my content. As we had that drop, so XRP basically came down from that. AUB says looking ripped in that pick. Yeah, I've been putting a lot of work in the last 3 years, no doubt about it. I have the most muscle tone that I've had ever. And I weighed the least I ever have. I weighed myself yesterday in the gym, and I've never seen the number I seen yesterday. I was at 177.6 3 weeks ago, or 177.8, somewhere around there. 3 weeks ago, and yesterday I was at 174.4. I've never seen that low. Oh, I love the new title belt. The other one was my championship belt. It's like, you know, wrestling, WWF, WWE. But this one shows the 2023 national championship on it. And then it's got the 21 and 22 Big Ten champions. We did win the 23 Big Ten championship, but the fact we won the national title supersedes it. So I like that being in the middle. And then the other 2 years we didn't win the title, but we still won the Big Ten. And I would say that it goes without saying that if we won the national championship, we'd win the Big Ten. But obviously we've seen our foe, Ohio State. They proved you don't have to win the Big Ten and you can still be the best team in the nation. So you know, I don't care. I'm glad Ohio State won it. If it's not Michigan, I'd rather it be Ohio State. And it makes it even better that we beat them because now they can enjoy it, but it would be like Michigan won the national title, but we couldn't beat Ohio State, so we got to live with that bullshit all year. But, you know, I'd rather have the title. But anyhow, I appreciate the compliment on the looking ripped in the pick. I do. I appreciate it. It's been a long journey. Anyhow, with that being said, we're going to get into the charts. I just wanted to make sure that everybody... Ooh, an XRP belt. That's a good idea. I'm gonna think of something. Because I told Julie I need a third belt because I can put the championship belt, the national title belt up on my right shoulder. The title belt, just the wrestling one that shows the Michigan champions, you know, just the title belt. That can go around my waist. But then I could use the XRP title belt around the left shoulder. I don't even know if it exists. I'm just lucky the guys in Dubai were willing to make it of this quality. Because I couldn't buy it in the USA or from China, so I found people in Dubai, believe it or not. And they only had two MMs, the thickness of this title belt, and I had them do it in 4. They didn't even make it in that size, so I paid them a little extra to do it in 4. So it came out beautiful. But anyhow, with that being said, good morning. 10:07 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Saturday, May 31st, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. And some people ask me, how long are you going to milk this Michigan National Championship? Who knows? The last one we had to milk for 25 fucking years, so this could be just as much. However, in basketball, Michigan is building a juggernaut, and we very well might win the title this year. I may put some money on it before the season because the roster we put together is unbelievable. And now we just paid some guy, instead of him going to be a lottery pick in the draft, now he's coming to Michigan. And we already had a stacked team, so it's going to be spectacular. With Dusty May, it's going to be spectacular. Like, I don't like watching the pro sports, but I'll watch Michigan basketball and football. Oh, yeah, forever. Oh, you better believe it. You guys remember when I started this show, I said if Michigan ever won the national title, look out. It's going to get pretty interesting, and that's what's happening. 74 people here on this Saturday morning. You know, it's kind of ironic. As we're watching these charts, and as we're watching the setup, I feel like the closer we get to these breaking points to where I don't think it's going to work against us. I think the closer we get to where it's going to end up being this, I don't want to say the bare bottom, but this cycle's bottom. As we start to move towards those numbers, I think we start to phase out some of the viewers. Not the viewers in my show, but the viewers that come to XRP, the viewers that come to crypto. I think we're in a strategic phase here, like in 21 and 23. Or 24, I mean, prior to the breakouts, we had this prolonged consolidation that seemed like it was going nowhere. It was more like sideways chopping, and then you get the up and the down. We go up 30, down 35, up 25, down 15, up 15, down 25. So you'd stay in that same level basis between a 30% range. But everybody who was coming and going would always be like, oh, you know, no matter what happens, the price always seems to supersede itself by going down. No matter if it's a great rally up, it runs out of steam at the exact same number. And in this case, you would have to say that's that 265 level. In the past 7 months, every time we get up to around that level, or 6 months, we seem to phase out. But then every time we start to bottom out, we usually phase out around the $1.80 average area. There's been an exception down to $1.61. Some sit around $2. But for the majority, you could say the low has been an average of about $1.80. And the high's been an average of about $2.42, with the push up to $2.65 and the drop down to $1.61. So, hey, 1970 legend, it's amazing to see you in here, my friend. Something may have came. I'm glad to see you in here. And people are going to get sick of this, but hey, 1970 legend's the Ohio State Buckeye fan. So anything I can do to, my belt came in that I was telling you about. You know I already have the one. But this one came in. And then when you put it together with the other one, that's how it looks. So I told you I was getting the second one in, and it's coming, 1970 legend. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XRP Predictor as well, along with George. XR Perfection, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge. And that's my son in the background. That's why I love that picture. I'm going to make that my Facebook picture because he's in it. But yeah, it's a nice day. Thanks, Papa Wheelie. I appreciate it. But 1970 legend, I gave props to Ohio State when I was going through this, and I said, you know, this belt shows the Big Ten championship in 21 on the bottom, 22 on the top. It doesn't show 23 because it's superseded by the national championship in the middle. But I said it goes without saying that if you win the title, you would win the national champ, or you'd win the Big Ten as well. And then I said, well, not this year because Ohio State didn't win it. But then I said, does it really matter? And I said, no, it doesn't because you won the national championship. But I also said I would rather Ohio State win the title than anybody else if it's not Michigan. It stays in the Big Ten. And if you have the blue bloods of the Big Ten always constantly fighting with each other, it's going to be very hard for the SEC to go back on top because we hate each other on the field. But we'll win a lot of titles if it stays like this. Let's see. Screech says, rainy days are here, but sunny days will come. Whether you believe it, whether you don't, it will happen and we will be rich. And the sun will come out, and it will and it won't. But it should, so it will. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, it's beautiful. That's beautiful. So the best thing I can tell you here is, okay, yes, we've had some downward spirals. But yesterday when we talked about it, with MXC, I said if I had a way to buy it, I would have bought it yesterday again if it wasn't for Crypto.com. So I said, if you have a way, if you want to do it, because it came down, dumped down. We looked at the W reversal. We had seen a nice inverse setup. And I said, I hope you took profits before that 40% drop, because now you are situated where either you took profits or you sold up, and now you can buy that reversal. And it came down exactly where we were thinking. A little bit higher than this part, but just below this first half. Came down, and it held in a nice structural support, especially in the daily, I believe it was. Excuse me. And we pulled back above the 200-day, and now it looks like at least you could have rode up that resistance area, even if it gets rejected. So I wish it wouldn't just be on Crypto.com. Like, I could have made 37% after what happened. Actually more, because it was down about 30. Well, no, because that was before the flip of the clock. So we could have made 36% on this if it wasn't on Crypto.com. Like, I wish it would have been on BITUNIX. Now, something that I'm paying attention to very closely now that we're getting into this, we've got about how many people will be in here today. Now we're at like 90 people. It might go up a little bit, whatever. But if you look at this chart, we can see a possible inverse head and shoulders on data. So I really wanted to make sure. Now, what I would like to see, and some might be like, well, Tom, why do you want that? I want to see this fill out. Like, so the trading bots, they tend to like to have the same semblance. So it won't look exactly the same. But I've come to realize that a lot of times, because we're on trading bots and algorithms within the markets that are manipulating crypto, you'll oftentimes see the mimic. So yeah, it's an inverse head and shoulders. So most will just see a rise. I've started to notice it'll do this, and then it'll come down, and then it'll go up, or it'll be like this, back down, back up, back around. So we're looking for this area like that. So where I would say the sweet spot, if it doesn't go lower, is I'm looking for this area. I'm looking for right around 133, possibly. Maybe not so low, because if we look at a neck, you know, that might fit. Because if you look at a neckline, you could technically hit it back here. But it's going to have to be a shorter spacing. You wouldn't want to go, so it'd be something like that. So somewhere in this range. So that brings us into tonight, tomorrow morning. Actually, tonight. So I would like to, you know, so it's tough. So I want to see this side mimic, but at the same time, we could be putting in that perfect short-term inverse head and shoulders. Now, the question is it just back testing the drop? So that's what we don't know. It remains to be seen. It's down about 20% from where I said to hold off on buying it. So it's a tough call here, because it was at 1.5 up here. Wait a minute. Yeah, 1.6. It was up there. So when you look at the drop so far, it's come down. And this is just from Friday, so it was higher than that. We'll just go from Friday. Thursday, Friday. So you can see it's still down 17% from there. So this very well could be creating that head we talked about. It just, maybe it doesn't bounce as low, but the technical drop suggests it should come lower, but that's only if it plays at 100%. Now, if it only comes down and retests a little bit, well, this could make it a little bit different because maybe it's misrepresented and we just had to wait for the evidence, or it's that other variable here that we couldn't have known until later, that it was actually setting up something like this. And if it were to hold, maybe it was setting up something like that and we couldn't have known until we seen this latest hit. So this is the dynamic. This is why we have to see. If it doesn't hold something like that, it will come down to the other area. But maybe we are developing something like this, but it does seem awfully early in the process here. So although it was dumping before, so we do see some signs of reversals here. Market wide. So the reason I wanted to show that before I went into XRP is because now when we get into XRP, we can see some kind of fundamental formation, just like the rest. So we bounced off our first point. If this is a big W, now we just need to come past 235, and this could be our first of two support areas we can bounce off of. Remember, we want to not go down so far all the time. We would like to use this as support, show this uptrend, because otherwise we're going to have to come down to around that $2 area, and this would be a bear flag. So unless we break up and break 220, about 220. So we want to break 220 before we lose two. So if you're watching right now on this Saturday, Alec, the bottom line is here. You want to break $2.21 before you lose $2.12. And what did you miss here? Nothing. The only thing I can think of you missing was the title belt that came in. And yes, I'm going to continue to show this. This is what it looks like with my old belt now. So that's the new title belt. And that's what it looks like. And it's got the Big Ten champions last couple. So that's all you really miss. And then we talked about some of the market. We talked about data possibly forming this inverse head and shoulders in the short term micro now. And in a little bit. Tom, your best odds that XRP can't hold $2.16. Well, I mean, maybe in this moment it can hold it. But I honestly think with what I'm seeing in the market, knowing the conditions coming, knowing the fact that we have the escrow dump and Ripple likes to store it. Listen, some people say it never meets the exchange, but here's my thinking. So if they do 1 billion dump from escrow, the price is at a certain amount. They intuitively want the price to go down, even if it's 3%, 5%, 10%. Because if they lock it up, another 500 million gets relocked up, they rebuy it back or put it in the lockup. I believe they can sell it and just say, oh, we bought back 500 million, even though they don't have to say it, but they relock up 500 million. What if they're dropping 1 billion tokens tonight, and let's just say it's at 218? Oh, we're locking back up 80 or 60% of the token, so they lock back up 600 million, but you see a 7% drop in between, or 5%, and instead of buying it at 218, or they sold it at 218, let's just say they relock it up at 212. So now they sold it and took all the money at 218. They buy it back at 212 and tell the public they're locking back up 600 million until December of 27. But yet they've got the difference in funds from what they dumped to what they locked up. So everybody says, oh, it doesn't affect the market. I disagree, because that's exactly what I think is happening behind closed doors. Why else would you do it every single month? It doesn't even make sense. Go ahead, drop the last 50 million on us, or 50 billion. I would rather them dump it on us all at once, have the market drop 40%, let me buy a huge dump, and knowing it's going to go up because now there's no more to dump on the market. Like, are you kidding me? That's what I want. Let's stop with this bullshit for the next fucking 5 years like we've been doing the last 8. I'm waiting for confirmation on data. I have to wait for the process, so I have to wait for confirmation one way or the other. We're in a shit spot right now. And we're only in a shit spot because I gotta keep both charts so that you can see where this retest would be. But we're kind of in a shit spot for what we want to do, because we don't know if we're going to get a retest here from what was the first drop point, if we're resetting this pattern. So be careful, because right now it could just be a retest right here. And let me put this number. And I know it's confusing, but I'm literally showing you all of the analytical approaches. These are all of the things you could pay somebody to show you. Like if I wanted to charge for my content, which I never will, this is what people would make you pay for. But I don't. I just show you it in real time. So you'd be looking for a retest at about 143. So we don't know. We're stuck in no man's land. I'm with Tom on that. One port all now. Absolutely. Absolutely, because that's the only real way to get this over with. And I don't care. Oh, we're only dumping it month by month so we don't make the market go down too much. Bullshit. All you're doing right now is making the optics for retail where people are like, why would I buy it in if it's just going to accelerate the downturn every single month? Even though we can outlast it, it still accelerates a downturn until you depreciate it all. But then December of 2027, we don't know what happens to all those tokens that are locked up. That's when they could do exactly what I'm talking about in December of 27. That's what pisses me off, because there's nothing that says they can't. And now they're going to have all those extra tokens that are re-locked up after making all this money. So see what data I said, we can't really do anything here because we're in no man's land. Because when I came on, it was around 1.4. No, not 1.4. When I looked at it in the Telegram, it was around 1.4. And I'll show you what I mean. Ooh, that's a difference. That's 2% right there already. But in the Telegram, and this is why I want everybody to join, it's not just me who shares this stuff. There's everybody's sharing with these cup and handles with different things. Shared the data token, and that shows the inverse head and shoulders forming. But everybody talks in here, and it's so nice. We've got 306 members now. So it's up almost 30 members in the last fucking couple days. 12:22 on the clock. Interesting. So my best odds, it can't hold 216. I think in the short moment it will. I'm hoping it will hold it. I don't really want to go down to that next layer if we don't have to. Overall, the odds probably 35%, just based on the formation, unless we bounce out. If we at some point can get over 220, well, let's just say 222, because in real time it's at 222, which is funny. If we can get over that spot and hold it, very good odds, because this would form a nice reversal. However, any kind of rejection before that or at that point that reverses us back below like 216 is devastating, because then you're looking at a bounce down to $2 without any. There's nothing in between, really. We don't have a lot of support structures in between this. So break 222 before losing 213 is basically how you need to look at it. 216 is pretty irrelevant, if I'm being honest. So, you know, and some people said, you know, oh, I like that Tomonomics meme in the new Tomonomics. I love it, because we had some stuff, and you have to follow every day, and this is another reason. UB2 Sob, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for over 4 years with the XRP Phoenix badge, and also for being our meme genius. Love this guy. He's been around for so long. I got to go to the other section. Let's see. There's so much stuff in here that I have to, where is my other section? Here we go. Tokenomics, or Tomonomics. Tomonomics, bitch, I can smell his nuts on your breath. Squirrel, or Tokenomics, squirrel, bitch, I can smell his breath on, or his nuts on your breath. Everybody. I love it. I love it. Oh, man. And then if you missed it yesterday, how far would I have to go back? Here it is. I talked about you can join the Telegram, but the only rule is that there is no second chances. So, you know, it's one of those things. Don't be a dick, or don't be a prick or get kicked, you know. So it's really like, just don't be a dick. But I like how he said, be a prick, get kicked in the dick. And it's perfect. It's perfect. I love it. He does good work. He does good work, but I call him my meme genius. He is a meme genius. He does stuff on YouTube as well. But XRP here has an engulfing candle in the 45. And if I was a betting man this morning, I would say we formed this inverse head and shoulders perfectly. And we're coming up for a retest of that drop point at 222. That's what it looks like. However, we do have the escrow dump, so I'm not sure. It'd be a perfect time to have an appreciation here, you know, of a price value before the escrow dump, so maximum dollar can be capitalized by Ripple. I know it's not sold onto the market, but, you know, I'm not naive. I think it is. So, but it still makes it tough. Like, I would love to take a shot at data. I just feel like we haven't got confirmation on any of this yet. We're trying to get confirmation as we speak. Just we haven't come past any of the major points. 30-minute is the first retest here, the 20-day. We've had one, but the first real retest after pushing to the 100 over and back below. Man, it does look like an intriguing short-term inverse head and shoulders, though. But we'll see. We'll see, because sometimes without confirmation, what you end up finding happens is something like this. You feel good, 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 you feel good. Then you don't feel so good when it does that. So we got to get confirmation that that won't just do something like that. Like, hey, woo, back up to here, get the rejection, and back down, right? So that's what we're trying to see, whether or not it does something like that. And you could say, hey, there's a gap area there, and I would not argue. Because I can see it, like in this area, even if it's a bearish tap, we've got an FVG up at about 147. So I could definitely see a move up here in the short-term inverse head and shoulder, even if bearish. So what does that mean? If we can get some confirmation here and hold this 45 or 30, that means we could get about a 7.5% appreciation here. December 10th, 2025. Ironic that you would pick that date. That date would be, let's see, my dad was born in 1958. So that would be my dad's 67th birthday on that exact day, December 10th. Or that will be, not would be. He's still with us. So that'll be his 67th birthday. That's also 1 week before my 42nd birthday. Here's another atomical analysis. I like it.
I can see Katie is.
I like it. We also, yesterday, somebody said, because I said everything sounds better with Tom in front of it. So somebody said Tom and, there was a lot of stuff. But just anything you put in front of it. Tom's Nursery. Tom's Pizza. You know, anything. Tom's Dispensary. Tom's Liquor Store. Tom's Gas Station. Tom's Title Belt, TTB. Tom, what's your thoughts on ZBCN? I mean, we've had a hell of a run up, but eventually we're going to top out and we're going to have to come to those gaps we talk about. So at some point, I fully anticipate a drop down to 0022. But there's a possibility that we could hold it at 0033, but I think 0022 has to probably happen. So that's my thoughts. That's the same thoughts I had when I said I'd be interested in rebuying on BITUNIX if it comes down and holds 0022. Just like I said, I'd be interested if it held that 00145 area, which it did, and we bought, and then we rallied up big time. It's the same thing I think in time could happen with MXC. It's just, it's very volatile on the down and upswings right now. But it's either going to be, you know, I think there's going to be gap areas, but it held that first area right now. So I see a big volatile swing here. And yesterday I said I would have bought it back after that bottoming down here, except I'm not making money for the exchanges anymore. So crypto.com can suck my grotesques because they're not making shit off of me. So, you know, if it's not on BITUNIX at this point, I'm not buying it because I'm not paying the exchanges anymore. They're not going to make my hard-earned money off of my technical analysis. So it's just one of those things. Tom's Extravaganza. That's right. See, it always sounds better with Tom. You know, I would have said Tom's Crypto or Tom's Crypto TA, but I'm a fan of XRP, and I figured it would be better with XRP Future Millionaire. I just can't believe nobody has it. But I have a website that's in development right now, almost a month in, and I put about $3K into this website. It's going to have live XRP pricing. It's going to have all of the tokens that I believe in, with all of them scrolling across, you know, their personal blockchains. It's got a whole bunch of stuff on there. It's going to revolutionize this. Oh, you guys are going to love it. And they suggested that I charge for the website to get back some of the money that I put into it. And I said, no, no, no. It's free. So the website, when you go to, you get to explore it. It's on a dedicated server. It's paid for 5 years. You know, it costs a couple $1,000s to do that. Paid for the website for 5 years. Had help in development so that it would be professional. And it's going to have everything from, it's always going to have a live pricing of XRP. You can go through the daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. It doesn't matter. There's going to be a search bar so you can look up any cryptocurrency of your choice right on the website. So you don't even have to go to TradingView. It's going to be right fucking there for you. Everything's going to be there, and it's going to be linked to my YouTube channel. So you can immediately go there from my website. No gimmicks. No Google advertising. None of that bullshit to slow it down. There is no ad revenue on the page. It's just something that I'm putting in for the page to you know, to increase what we do here. And all of that's able to be done because of the members of Tom's Army. Everybody who sent YouTube super chats, like Gator just did, a $4.99 donation. And also in Tom's Army for his first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. And that is my face superimposed on there. So believe it or not, I put the money back into this program that you guys put into my my show. Because I don't technically need what I make on YouTube to make a living, but I can certainly use it to put into things. And all that helps. The members, the donations, all of that helps. And I've been able to put better technology. I have a new touchscreen, 32-inch that I have next to me so I can read the comments. And it's like a TV on rolling wheels, but it's with the Android. It's like Karen on SpongeBob, Plankton's wife, or whatever you want to call that rolling thing. That's what it looks like, in a way. But it's on the Android, so I have TradingView in front of me. I have YouTube in front of me, like you guys see it, so I can see everything you see. I see the comments. That's why it's not clouded on my screen anymore. It makes it more professional. But that's because of the audience giving back. It truly is. So, Tom, maybe explain the timing steps on the escrow dump. Up on the last day, down on the first of every month. Oh, yeah. So what we usually see is some kind of small price appreciation that happens just before the dump. Now, that doesn't mean that the price is going up, because generally we're having some kind of volatility, whether up or down. But we generally will have a small increase before midnight. So that's why it would be the more likely spot here on Saturday to have this retest before they dump these 1 billion tokens Ripple onto the market. Everybody, oh, they don't dump it onto the market. I don't believe that. So what are you doing? Where are you dropping it from? You just opening it up? What are you doing? When you push it back into circulation, it's being dumped on the market. Now, depending on how much that they decide to lock back up, we don't know. So initially, we feel the whole brunt. And what that means is the market becomes overweighted by 1 billion from yesterday to tomorrow, or from today to tomorrow. So instead of there being, what's the current circulating supply? It's 58.76 billion. For one brief moment, it's going to be 59.76 billion, even if we don't see it on the screen. Now, if they decide to lock up 600 billion, now tomorrow, when it's all said and done, if they add 400 million onto the market, we'll end up having 61.16 billion tomorrow if 600 million get locked back up. But I believe they look for that short-term depreciation, that in-between moment. So you get a 3 to 5% movement to the downside, which is usually hidden by this short-term rally up here, you know, the prior to the release. And then it, like, we were at 212 yesterday, then you'll be at 212 and you'll be like, oh, well, it's just because we had a short rise and then it came down here. That's why it looks like we're having a 5% dump. When in reality, they're dumping it out on this little increase up to, let's just say 222. It reaches that point today. Or back to that rejection area. And then it just so happens that it comes back down to the support when they lock it up. So to me, it's they're selling it at 2 whatever. In this case, 222, they're buying it. Then they're reselling or relocking it up at 212, which means when they rebuy it, they've got a savings. And that's just what I'm looking at. Is this right after milk? Wow. So I was right yesterday when I thought he really wanted those. So I mean, that's what I think. That's what I think. And I can't wait to show you guys this, guys. I really can't wait to show you what I put into this for the website. Like, this is going to blow your freaking minds. It's beyond what I thought I was going to do. Beyond. And I might even add a section in there where we can do one-on-one. And I don't know, because I don't want to charge anything. I think it would be somebody be like, hey, Tom, I know your time's important. Because it'll have an email spot so you can contact me. But maybe I'll design something to where we could do one-on-one. Or maybe through the website, we could do a little fundraising. And we could be like, hey, it's going to take us this many hours. We want to make sure your time's warranted. And then we just open up a Zoom together for all of us. I would be open to do that too. Create a Zoom, have a bunch of people in there from the website. There's so many ideas I could do based off of that. You know, there's so many things. Then we could just give it back. We could have little content. I don't know. There could be so much cool stuff. But I'm telling you, that's good. And it's free on the website. So when it happens, you can go into XRPFutureMillionaire.com right now and it just says what's coming. And it looks nothing like what it shows. It's going to be so awesome. This is going to be detailed like a professional page like you've never seen. Gator, thanks for the $4.99 donation. What's up, Tom's Army? Hope all is well. Buy some extra cryptos with this, Tom. Absolutely. We're setting it up fundamentally right now, my friend, and I appreciate that so much. BITUNIX is worldwide. Definitely good in the UK. What? How big? What? What did I order that was big? Hold on. Oh, the other bird bath. Bigger than the bird bath?
It's like soft, but looks like a box.
Let me look at what I ordered. Oh, Christ. I never know what's coming in. I did some work yesterday outside. It took a couple hours. The spot that I redid the day before, yesterday I decided to put some nice shrubs there. So we bought 4 of them. They're only like $28.93 a piece. And since I did it myself, I didn't have to pay like a landscaper to do all this. And it took a few hours, but I put them in, and oh my God, it's looking nice. I put the chicken wire in front of the spot, put out my own little fencing. Oh man. You guys can only see what I'm doing out there. It's cost a few $1,000s to upgrade my yard. You know, with what my idea is, I put about 10,000 pounds of dirt in different spots, gardening soils and different things like that. Topsoil where it needs to be. All right, let's see. Yeah, so it says, oh, that hasn't arrived yet. I don't know what that is.
Maybe she's packing her bags and saying bye to him now. Good. Let us cry.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at it after the live. Sorry, everybody. If you go to the monthly on XRP in 2017 before it did the last leg, we had a similar gravestone doji on the monthly before it rested, and then absolutely, you're absolutely right about that. Make XRP great again. That's an excellent observation. That is an excellent observation. If I'm being honest with you, that is an excellent observation. Let me go into this chart because it's easier to see. Actually, not that one. That's an excellent observation.
So last night when he came up, I was happy to see everything you said just validated our time.
I mean, if you start looking back, right? Boom, out. But we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 months in a row of the same kind of style setup. Now you come here, see that's about the first. Second, you've got a couple of confusing ones, but you definitely are starting to set up in the same lining. That is a good observation, my friend. For anybody not used to this, take a good hard look. Catherine, 222, Tom's Army, God bless. Catherine, and thank you so much for sharing all this stuff. And being in Tom's Army for your first month, love, with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. That is my face superimposed on there, so I know it's the first month. Really, really appreciate all the support from everybody. It's helped me turn this into something I could have never dreamed. And we went over 41,500 subscribers today. One of my videos yesterday had 3,000 views. We had almost 180 people in the live. The first one yesterday, 150 in the second one, even bearish. It's definitely bringing in more people than we used to have. 113 even in the unknown. We used to have 40 people in the lives when it was like this, when I had 25,000 subscribers. So I'm noticing a bigger correlation of people that are willing to watch even in the downward moments. Sir Smokeslot, thank you for the 6 months in Tom's Army with the XRP Predictor. The $20 donation this morning says contributions, the community page. You provide a knowledge set that can never be repaid, Tom. Thank you. I appreciate that, but it can be. You guys repay it every day by just simply believing in what I do and giving me the motivation to come back every day. Honestly. It doesn't seem like it, but it's huge motivation for me when I see so many people becoming more engaged, so many people making money. I'm trying to create abundance, which I have for myself in a way, but it needs to be more so that I have a plan right now. My dad owes like $300,000 on his house. He's 66, but he bought it because my sister got divorced. She has 2 kids, and it was just a weird situation. So he had them move in with her, so he needed to buy a bigger house. And now instead of him living in a paid off condo, he's living in like a $600,000 house, but he still owes like, I think $275 or $300. So my goal is to make enough money through this to where I can pay it off and he can pay me monthly instead of the bank with interest. That's my goal. So I have a big goal right now, and I still need about 230,000 roughly to make this happen. But that's secretly what my goal is and my agenda is right now. So, and I'm trying to do that, you know, before he hits 70 so that he can enjoy his retirement. And I've got enough in precious metals where I don't even care about this. I care about the money, but I know I can make money every day. You know, so that 17,000 definitely helped. So I've got a big thing that I'm trying to do here, and it goes about outside of myself. So I'm trying to relieve some stress from my dad so that he can actually retire from traveling and doing all this shit. But it's going to take some work. I'm about 30% of the way there. 30% of the way there, and it's not small stones. These are big stones. Let's see. Joey McCaffrey, thank you so much for the $5 donation as well. Hi, Tom. What's your move on DGB? I didn't sell, didn't see your call in time. My average is wrong. DGB, it's not necessary that you need to sell it technically. I only did it because crypto.com was becoming a pain in the ass, and I wanted to do it with some volatility to see how Albank worked. And now I can at least buy it and know it's not going to be the extreme fee, but I had to see it in a high time of volatility, how it was going to work. I don't necessarily think you have to sell it because I don't think it's broken down any walls yet. In fact, I think this is a little bit off. So for clarity, I think you're okay right now. I don't think you necessarily have to sell it. This is just something I did because I need to see how things work outside of, because I never sold anything that big on Albank, and I wanted to see how it would work with DGB, even with volatility, and it wasn't too bad. There was a little differential, nothing major, but for purposes, we're still well within that formation. We're perfectly fine. We still have that inverse head and shoulders possibly set up. We didn't ruin anything in this setup, so right now I don't think you have to worry. I think it would be more of a worry if it falls below 8.4, but other than that, I think you're okay still. Let's see. Thoughts on Ripple attempting a hostile takeover? I think it's warranted because I think the U.S. government's trying to disperse Tether. They're trying to get rid of it because they know that once it has this new regulations that it can't possibly meet the standards of a audit. So they're trying to get out from under it before that happens, and it's coming, it's looming. And then it'll become insolvent. So they're trying to put it on Ripple, since Ripple is a big majority of Tether's movement anyhow, before they came up with the stable token. RLUSD stablecoin. So I think this is a friendly way because Ripple is actually owned by U.S. government, or not the U.S. government, but the Federal Reserve, by the central banks, by the World Economic Forum, and the International Monetary Fund. I think this is a strategic way to take over Tether so that the public's none the wiser with how insolvent it really is. That's what I think is going on, in my opinion. Holy crap. Man and his dog, thank you for the $100 donation. Whoa. That's crazy. In a good way. And also, thank you for being... Is that the XRP Predictor badge? It's hard to see. Yes, it is. Because it's got the red around it. Thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months as well with the XRP Predictor. The $100 donation says, thank you, Tom. You are appreciated. When we make an insane amount of money from the next bull run, make sure to spread the word of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Thank you, Lord, for Tom and the information he provides. Amen to that. As I always say, don't forget to give thanks to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Stay humble, show humility, and when more than one person preaches the name of our Lord and Savior, God becomes present in our actions and our sayings in this community. We're all together for a reason. We all believe the same things. And I've tried to build a community on that. Helpful, not hurtful. Positive, not negative. We're winners, not victims. We are not the victim. We're the winners. So you have to have all the education from a news and charting perspective. Also the economical tug, political sphere, which I don't normally talk about unless I have to. Notice you haven't heard about that since we had to talk about it because I don't care about politics. I know the central banks, what they do. But we also have to do it from a spot of kindness because when you do it from hateful and vengeance, there's people in here that deal with that every day in their real life. They don't want to come in here and feel like they're being hated. They don't want to feel like they can't ask a question. So we got to try to help because we're trying to create abundance for not just ourselves, for each other. And when you do it from a standpoint of togetherness, you start to feel that universal. You can feel the souls when they connect. You can feel that energy. You can feel the positivity, but you can also feel the knowledge growing. It's like we're one brain, right? There's the theory that we're all just one big brain, and we're all just different segments of this big old brain. We just haven't realized it yet. And the moment we do, we'll gain true transcendence. The other problem is there's also a theory of my own that we're going into the phase of the Terminator and like with iRobot, as if we haven't learned anything. And the moment that these robots become more knowledgeable than we are, these AIs, they won't need us anymore. And think about it. It's survival of the species. So for them, they're AI, they're robots. Once they're smarter than us, they don't need us. What's the logical conclusion to getting rid of an enemy that can get rid of you? You get rid of them first. So that's what I'm afraid of in this next chapter. And I'm young enough to where I'm going to see this in the next 10 years. And I'm still going to be young. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that man and his dog. And everybody who sent a donation today so far. We've had man and his dog, Joey McCaffrey, sure smokes a lot. Gator. I think there was one even higher up than Gator as well. Let's see. Nope, that was the first one. And then we've had a more recent one as well. LLL, Hottie Toddy. Love it. Thanks for the $4.99 donation. Said, I don't know if I have ever heard you discuss Eric Schmidt's background token, Kita. I have never. I don't even know which token that is, I don't think. Let's see. I've known you longer, actually. I'm Tony Carter's partner. Holy crap. Oh, yeah, that is your picture. That is his picture on there. I didn't realize that my setting wasn't in 4K on this. I couldn't see the picture clear, but now let me, that is so awesome. You are indeed, I can see it on the picture. Let me turn this into, yeah, see it's in 720. Let me go to advanced. Actually, it was in auto. That's Mr. Carter, hashtag M2C. That's, so Catherine is Mr. Carter's significant other, Julie. Mother second choice. The one who lets us play his music. How awesome is that? So I definitely have known you longer. I just didn't even make the connection. How awesome is that? Thank you so much for joining Tom's Army. Mr. Carter's been in Tom's Army since the beginning. Many, many years. I hope he's doing blessed right now, being safe in the outback. We're going to have to play his music in the background one of these days. Let's see if I have it on here. Because I think it deleted it one of these times, so I have to re-download it again. I think that's what happened. Let's see. It always does it. Even my sunny days, it does it. It's like it doesn't like to keep it on here. Yeah, see, it did it again. I'll re-download it, but it's so awesome to have you in the audience. And I've been looking at that picture, but it was a little blurry until I just did it, but it is so clear now. That is so awesome. Oh, look at this. Spammers. Nice. I love the spammers. You know? Let's see. And it's everywhere. It's everywhere. So, hide user. Did I mention the other cool thing about having this touchscreen? Is for anybody who does stuff like that, I can do it in real time and delete the people. Did I do the right person? Yes, I did. John says, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for 1 year, my friend, with the I Told You So Bad. Thank you, Lord, for our blessing, including Tom's gift and his willingness to share it with all of us. So gracious and generous, changing people's life. Hey, it's about abundance. I told Julie a long time ago. I don't want to be at the top of the mountain by myself. It's a very lonely place. So if we have a bunch of like-minded people, we can all get together at the end. The fact there's 100 people in here right now and the market's so uncertain means a lot. And it's a Saturday morning, and it's only 7:50 a.m. on Pacific time. It's cool. But I'm going to be ending this shortly. Julie's mom's not here, so I'm going to take an Uber, I think, over to the farmer's market. I got some work I want to do outside as well. I want to, my goal is to put, I can't wait for that winter wheat to start growing so I can see how it looks. But I'm waiting for my marijuana and my cannabis seeds to pop. I got some really stellar ones this year, some high-end ones. And I planted them a few days ago. I think it was Thursday, right? So it's going to take probably anywhere between 7 to 10 days to pop to start pushing up normally, in my experience. So we'll see what happens. So I'm doing a lot of stuff outside. But I got I've been spending like probably 4 hours a day outside because I'm trying to take advantage, and my whole outside looks like a country now. Like I've literally turned it into something that I didn't even know I was this good at what I do. Shrooms are your favorite. I got to get better with the shrooms. I haven't grown any, but I definitely got to get better. Catherine says, when we succeed, we can change the world for the better. Tony and I have plans. I think we all have, and I'm glad you guys are on that mindset. I know Mr. Carter does, Tony, and I'm glad you share that same belief. But that's the way. That's exactly what you need to do. I try to do it right now, even when I get these small moments where the wealth is more than even, because I have more money now than or currency, whatever you want to call it. I knew it was going to happen, but I don't need to spend a lot of money. I don't do a lot of things. I kind of stay home. I'm a homebody. I like to walk a lot of places. But I do a lot of work outside of my house, like outside of my property. And I don't really need a lot. So like the money, like I've told the audience, the more it comes in, the less I really know what to do with it. I've already got $40,000 in mining stocks with the current appreciation, even with the drop on Friday. I've got, and I'll be transcendent, 15 ounces of gold and 800 plus ounces of silver. I've got a nice stack of this and that. I've got the nice amount of crypto. I've got like 25 or 27,000 on BITUNIX that I can spend in liquid cash. I've got my XRP and XRP healthcare. I've got this and that and whatnot. So I've got more than I ever thought I needed. My house is paid off. I've got a beautiful audience. I've got 41,500 people that support me. Which seeing that number is surreal. It's surreal. And like the last 30 days has been the most abundance I've ever had on YouTube with subscribers. Now, a lot of people do send me messages and say, I'm subscribing to the channel, but I'm not watching till we get on a bull run, which is fine. And they'll say, I need to know a channel that I can trust with the charts when I'm actually willing to buy and when I need to sell, so I'll watch you when it's the right time. The right time is all the time, though. I definitely appreciate that. But the right time is now when it's the volatile moments. The right time is to see where the right deal is. Is this the time for this bottom, or are we going to get rejected on the tug back up at 222? Are we going to get past that resistance? Is Bitcoin going to go past that resistance drop? Is Ethereum going to get rejected continuously by that rising wedge? Because that's alt season. That looks like a bull flag's forming. An inverse head and shoulders is also forming. It looks like it's at the cross point where that golden cross is happening with the 20 cross and the 200. You see what I'm saying in the daily? So this looks like an optic. Don't fear the drop no matter how far it goes, even if this is all of it. You don't need to fear this. In the macro, we look so bullish it would make your head explode if you understood. In the micro, we're contradicting ourselves. Ethereum's looking fantastic in the micro and macro. The macro's looking horrible, but the micro's looking fantastic. But the macro will look fantastic once we get over this rising wedge. The only reason the macro wouldn't look as good is because if you get rejected by the rising wedge in the macro, first you'd have to go to 496 to complete the macro picture. But the micro would look horrible, even though it looks good right now, because you get a rejection in the macro. So it's really weird where we're at right now. Although the micro is showing a bull flag with the golden cross in the daily, with the cross of the 20 through the 200, and the 100 or the 50s crossing, and it's just a whole big thing. The 50s recrossing the 100. So what the hell's really going on here? It looks more bullish than bearish with a sense of bearishness with the macro. So it's like we can keep talking and spinning this, but really we just need to watch the charts and not be so fearful. Because if you have an elite understanding of the charts, you can just say what's going on in real time. And then if somebody tries to say something, you can call bullshit or you can call truth. based on what they're saying. So then when you watch somebody, when you go into another community, not mine, if they're not saying what I'm not saying, teaching you the way I'm teaching you and showing it the way I'm showing you, they're full of shit. It's one of those things, if they don't say what I'm saying, they're wrong. Because I'm just saying what the charts are telling me to say. It's not what I think. I'm only thinking what I'm seeing. And what I'm seeing is what the charts are showing in the setups. And I don't make up what that inverse head and shoulder or bull flag is or a golden cross. That's just what it looks like. Right? So it's not me saying this. I'm just relaying what the charts are saying. So by virtue, I'm just a vessel of the charts. So do you want somebody who's giving their personal opinion, or do you want somebody who's just speaking the facts of the chart? Me personally, I couldn't give a rat's ass about what somebody thinks. I want to know what the charts are telling me. I don't even care what I think. That's why I say take your personal emotion out of it. So if they're not thinking what we're thinking, they're wrong. And it's not me being a dick, it's the truth. Because they're not seeing it the right way. They can see it a different version of what we're seeing it, but the same pattern better be presented. You know, the same distribution areas better be shown on XRP. The same demand, the same, you know, the same discovery area, the same supply zones. They all have to be the same. Otherwise, it's not right. This is not us. We didn't make this up. This is just what XRP is doing. You know, I can't help it. That's why I say don't get mad at me, get mad at the charts. Because they're the ones who are telling us this, not me. But with that being said, have a good day, everybody. Yes, Chris, $1.97 is absolutely in play. If we don't get past $2.22 here, we would have to come up to, or we'd have to come down. So basically, if we lose 213, your $1.97, that's the liquidity zone. Between $1.97, $1.90, $1.97 and $2.06. I would dare say $2. But because we have this 200-day right here at 206, which did we not hit? Remember, that's within our drop. Remember, I called the $1.97, I think I was saying $1.98 to 207. Did we not hit that point? So we did hit the tap already. That's what I was saying. We've already come down here. So yes, it came down to that area we called. Now if we can get past 222, we're back to the races. So I'm saying it was just a quick tip. That's it. Quick drop. So now we got to see if this is real, but it's come down to what we were calling. That was our area. I think I even put it in the titles, that exact zone. And some of them, let's see. We've talked about if it went down the sub 2, but I know on one of these I put the $1.98 to the $2. Oh, maybe it was in a video. Ooh, that's beautiful. Where was this at? Ah, who knows? I know I put that somewhere. Maybe I didn't. I just talked about it. I know I said it in there somewhere. Ah, who knows? Who knows? It wouldn't have been back this far, I don't think. Nah, who knows? It's been an area we talked about a lot, though. $1.98 to 207. Unless I put it in the shorts, which is possible. But yeah, if you can't tell, I'm about to log off. I just talk. Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff put out here. But I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'll do what I gotta do. Do you have an M on your palm, Tom? I don't know, Julie, do you have an M on my palm? I don't either. I mean, you could look at it kind of as an M because I have the line that goes through and then you got 3 lines that come down and you could make it into an M. I've been told some pretty interesting things about my palm. D. Rojas, you can't send a super chat. Yeah, for some reason it doesn't always let everybody. So my suggestion is if you have Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, look on my homepage on YouTube. You can go here, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. And if you really want to, you can send a super chat. But I'm just happy with you being here. Honestly. Frankie Fresh, I'm glad I've been here too. And thanks for being in Town Zone for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor. Syrian, thanks for being in Town Zone for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. And also being a very trusted mod. D. Rojas, Hey, he figured out how to donate a $4.99 donation. Look at that. Check out Magic Coin when you get them in. After live, thank you, Tom, for everything. I'll check that out after, but I'll also put it on here while I'm on the live, and then I'll log off. After all, you did send a donation, so fair is fair.
Last night I definitely got like intense.
I've heard of the Magic Token, I think. I think, is this...
Mood she's created in the house.
Oh, maybe this isn't the same one.
Herself from the group. Like, she's not trying to communicate with anybody. So
Oh, wow, that's setting up... all. That could be setting up an inverse head and shoulder tap right here. Huh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'll do some research on this. I just wanted to add it to my page so I wouldn't forget. So I'll definitely look at that. And then Rojas, on our next live, I'll bring this up again. But this is now on the chart on the bottom. So I'll do some research, set up the numbers so that you can see it properly. And then I'll get back to you. But have a blessed day, everybody, and we'll talk soon. I appreciate each and every one of you. Whoa, wait a minute. No. There was a thing. We definitely got over the $50, so we're singing sunny days. There was definitely over $50 in donations, and we didn't even need the donations. As you've seen, I put in there. Oh shit. Oh. We might have to be on the ball here for XCN. Oh boy, look at this. I overlooked it this morning. We've had the back test. I overlooked it last night too. We drew this out.
I don't want to leave his back up. Maybe if he's still interested in you, he's gonna be wondering what it.
I know it's up 6%, but technically, this could be the bounce point here for XCN. Shit, I missed it. I was going to buy it on the back test. Damn it, it hit it perfect too. That's the problem with watching so much stuff. I'm not missing MXC. I'm just not buying it on crypto.com and making them rich anymore. I talked about it yesterday. I would have bought it back if I could have bought it somewhere else but crypto.com. I would have bought it back yesterday when I had that bounce down. But I'm not making the exchanges any richer anymore. When they're taking 30% of my profit, it ain't happening no more. So it's not that I'm missing it. It's just that I don't have an option. So I don't feel like, all of that. I know it's moving. I know it's moving. But yeah, it's moving up now because it crashed so hard. This is what happens. But yeah, something to pay attention to with XCN as well. I'm gonna have to do probably another update tonight. But we'll talk soon, everybody. I want to do this sunny days, but something big starting to happen with XCN. Look at that inverse head and shoulders. This is the structure. And if it comes down, the lowest it would come likely is that uptrend at 1-1. This is probably within that 25% zone. Honestly. Interesting. So anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, I know what time it is. Do you know what time it is? And for the 95 people that stuck around and 95 likes, I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, the sunny days are here again. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. I wear glasses 'cause I can't see a motherfucking thing. Happy days. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. XRP will reign supreme. Let's just not get caught in the FUD. Oh, we're gonna crash and we did and we will and we won't and we did and we may and we will and we won't and we can't and we will and we can and we won't and we will and they say it will happen forever but it won't and it will and it will and we won't and we will and we can. Oh yeah. Stay true. Stay blessed. Don't buy the bullshit. In this case, it's Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the bullshit. Bitcoin eventually will be proven as the biggest Ponzi scheme on earth. It's a good way to devalue the US dollar. Why not drop a bunch of money into Bitcoin as a reserve currency when it's shit instead of going to a gold-backed standard and buying gold and silver? This is the way that you ruin a country, and you're watching it firsthand. So you can either go broke or you can get ahead. So I suggest you keep watching so you don't go broke.